Hey friends, reaching out to you from my office a little after 4 o'clock today on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, if you will. I hope you've been having a good day. I've been, enjoying a little bit of quiet here, not a whole lot of activity at church, as you can probably guess. I just heard the news that bars and restaurants are closing for the foreseeable future, that there are 72 active cases in the state of Wisconsin right now, and that school is on pause indefinitely. So I guess I get to spend more time with Hannah, something like this. I've been doing a lot of thinking about what do we do, how do we kind of move forward as this gets more and more severe and a little bit more scary considering everything that's happening around us. You've probably seen the letter I sent you earlier today letting you know that we are on pause. We're suspending all church activities for the time being. I will probably be around in the office. If you want to talk, please call me at church on my cell phone. But in general, we're going to be lying pretty low here until we have some further guidance for what we do next. So today, I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of talking and a lot of emailing, and some of you have probably gotten sick of hearing from me, and I will try to keep the emails down to a minimum as we go forward. But a lot of what I'm reading is how do we cope with, how do we deal with, how do we think about this pandemic. I'm a perfectionist by nature, much to the chagrin of my dear wife. And so much of what I do wants to be neat and orderly and try to be in control of things. And it's just out the window for the time being. And maybe in a month to whatever it happens to be, I can get some more order back into my life the way I like it. But the reality is I don't get to make this call. So an article I read today by a theologian scholar named Thomas J. Ord talks a lot about what this is, not in a scientific way, but in a religious, faith-based. If you were one of the small amount of folks who kind of braved the world on Sunday to come out, you've heard a little bit of this from me, but I just figured I'd share it with everybody. I keep seeing articles and posts and people saying, well, this is part of God's plan. And I just can't buy into any of this. This is not part of God's plan. God does not wish suffering, pain, tragedy upon anyone. This virus is antithetical to the God that I love and try to serve my best. God wants the best for us. There's no silver lining to this. There's not, oh, look at the good that will come out of this terrible sickness. Good may come from this, not because God wanted it to happen. But we were created to be helpers, as it says in Genesis. We were created to be, as some mystics once said, the hands and feet of Christ. So what can we do to offer our first and best to God in this time of pandemic, of crisis, of heightened anxiety and fear? Well, how do we work together normally? We kind of pull together and take care of each other. Call your neighbors, call your friends, call your church members that you know probably aren't going to get the phone calls from everyone. Social distancing, as maybe opposite as it sounds, is a huge way to show your love for your neighbors and friends. It means in case one of us finds out we're infected, we haven't done it to everyone else. Share your provisions. I don't know if you've been to the store lately, but when I stopped by to pick up some real basic things, I'm glad I have a Costco membership and I bought toilet paper 2 or 3 weeks ago. But one of the things that we have to do is figure out a way that we might share with others. And you're probably hearing the phone ring in the background. I'll get back to you if it's you calling me right now. One of the other ways we do it is we care about what our public health officials, what our government is trying to tell us. I know there are conflicting responses right now. There's just a lot of stuff out there and a lot of bad misinformation. but trust as best you can what the CDC says. Trust what our local and state officials are saying. And if you're not sure, check your sources. And take precautions. If you're in the high-risk category, please don't try to be brave and go out and do things. If you've got someone who can help you, let them do it. I guess I don't have a lot of great advice, but it's what we can do. I know this is going to stretch us and it's going to be difficult, but we will weather this storm together. We will figure this out and we will move forward one way or the other. That's who we are, not just as St. Paul's or as Americans or anything like this, but that's who we are because that's who we were created to be. We're a delightfully resilient people filled with brilliance some days, and now is the time to share that brilliance and love with everyone you encounter. So before I go, I just want to let you know that I'll be keeping an eye out and keeping y'all in prayer and everything else that's going on here. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and always give you his peace. Until tomorrow, friends.